All right, so I haven't been doing videos like this much lately at all. Like I got like a weird shadow thing going on there. I haven't been doing videos like this lately, with basically just life advice. But this is a little different. Don't take this as advice to you necessarily. This is a message to my future self. Um, have a plan in order whenever you're going to complete a goal. Whenever you have a goal lined up, line up the next thing after the goal because every single time, this is something you deal with, I deal with almost every time I accomplish a big goal, I accomplish it and then I fall off. And that is because it's like you work towards something, work towards something, and then you accomplish it, and then you're left with like, oh, I've completed the task. And if there's not a now what, if there's not a thing to do next, you're lost. And I've done this. The first time I realized it was when I was doing bodybuilding back in 2013. After the show, I had nothing lined up afterwards. I had a vague goal afterwards, which was like to put on more muscle mass over the next few years afterwards. It can't be vague. It's got to be specific. And then last year's marathon and this year's marathon, same thing. I complete the task. I work for months leading up to it. I'm hardcore. I'm super focused, and I get like this with everything I do. Like I go all in. But the thing is like then I reach the end and I'm just spent and I've accomplished the goal, and then I slack off a little bit because I'm like I'm there. I've arrived. I've done it. Um, you gotta put stuff in place. You gotta put the next thing in place. I hear this all the time with like military guys, right? Like guys who get out of the military and they say, you know, to have a mission before you get out, because you know if you get out of this lifestyle that you're used to, where you always have a goal, always have a mission, always have something that you're supposed to be doing, and then you're done with that, you don't know what to do with yourself, and you get caught up in things that you shouldn't, or you get distracted, or you just stop accomplishing things. And I run into this all the time. It applies to everyone, definitely not just the military. It applies to everyone that sets any kind of goal, whether it's a physical, like a weight loss goal, or um, a physical feat you're trying to complete, like I said, like a marathon, or a contest you're trying to win. Um, if it's passing an exam, or if it's completing a goal of like, I don't know, reading a certain number of books in a month, whatever it is, have the next goal lined up, because if you don't, you will stop accomplishing goals for a while. Then you'll have to reset. You have to start all over. This is where I'm at right now. This is where I'm at. You know, I had a goal last year of putting out YouTube videos, putting out a video or podcast every single day. And I did that for the rest of the year. And once I reached, like, I think I got to the 1,000 subscriber mark, which I was hoping I would do by the end of the year. Once I did, I started slacking off. I'm putting out less content now. Now, however, I am putting out a lot of content um, that's more involved than a daily video or podcast. But still, that's no excuse. I let that goal go by the wayside once I reached a certain level. Marathon, I completed the marathon, and like afterwards, I barely run now. I wouldn't say barely, but I run a couple times a week. It's for like a mile or two. Sure, is it better than most people do exercise wise? Yes, but is it up to my standard of what I want to be doing, where I want to be right now? Absolutely not. So that's a problem with me. Has been forever. Every time I've reached a goal, I've slacked off a little bit afterwards. Like you can't allow yourself to completely relax. You have to have something else next. It doesn't have to be as extreme, it doesn't have to be as intense, but it's got to be something. It's got to be a planned out thing, or else you're going to be aimless, directionless, and you're just going to float around for a little while. And like I said, I'm still accomplishing things, I'm doing things, but I've fallen off of a lot of goals this year that I'm going to have trouble accomplishing now by the end of the year. 2020 was my biggest year ever in terms of goal accomplishment. Setting goals, crushing them, did it all year, right? And this year, I went even a little bigger. I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to bike 100 miles in a day. I'm going to write a book. Like, geez, these are huge goals. Maybe I went a little too big, maybe so, but I always overshoot because I figure, you shoot for the stars, you hit the moon, right? But this year, I got about halfway through the year, and because that marathon took so much out of me, it was like I stopped. I like the other goals fell by the wayside. I thought I had other plans, right? I thought I had these other plans, but they were too broad. They're too broad. These accomplish this by the end of the year is too broad. You need some monthly goals, or some quarterly goals, something. Maybe not weekly, maybe not daily necessarily, but daily's good to have small daily goals. But definitely, 1 year is too broad to say I'm going to get this point by the end of the year. You got to have a plan to get there. When I was training for a marathon, I had a plan. I had a certain amount of numbers I had to run each day, and I followed that plan for 4 months, and I reached the goal. And that's how it works. And with the YouTube videos thing, it was just do the thing every day. That's the goal. Easy to follow because it's every day. I know at the end of each day, if I haven't done it, better do it real quick, man. But these ideas of like, I had no training plan for biking 100 miles. I had no written out or thought out plan of how to write my book. Like, am I going to commit 30 minutes a day to working on this book? That's what I should have done, and I did not do that. And now I'm stuck. I've written 2 short stories in a book that's supposed to be full of short stories. 15, 20 short stories, baby. And it's October. So, not saying I won't accomplish the goal. I am the type of person who likes to procrastinate and then bust everything out at the last minute. So that is possible. However, a lot of goals would have to be accomplished by the end of this year that I set last year. And I don't think that's going to happen. Not going to be as productive as last year, I don't think. But we'll see. Anyway, that's the message today is plan for what you're going to do after the current plan. Always have a next plan in line. Always have, if you care about accomplishing goals or going somewhere, you have a direction, you have somewhere you want to reach, a goal you want to achieve, you've got to have the next thing lined up. You have to. And if it's too vague, you won't do it. That's it. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe to the channel. Now, most of my videos are not like this. Most of it is entertainment and pop culture. Maybe sometimes stories from my questionable youth, which will eventually be put into that book I was talking about. But yeah, mostly entertainment and pop culture. So if you're into that sort of thing and you'd like something new and interesting in your feed every day, then please subscribe for more. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Share the video if you think other people can benefit from it. And yeah, if you decide to subscribe, or you can also favorite or follow the podcast, which is just an audio version of what you're watching right now. You might be listening to the podcast version right now. There is a video version as well over on YouTube. So if you would like that, if you'd like to stick around and get something new and interesting close to every day in your feed, then I'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks.